Dr. Bright, I know you're just getting this information as I am as it comes across. Walk us through these numbers. Pfizer and BioNTech, 95% effective with no serious side effects, going for regulatory approval in a matter of days. Walk us through it.
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me on. And before I get into the encouraging news, I do want to just remind everyone across America, as you wake up and hear the statistics that you just mentioned on your show, make sure you wear your mask. We're going to talk about some promising and encouraging updates on the vaccine development. And that doesn't mean the vaccines are going to be available tomorrow. So it's still critically important that you wake up, wear your mask, and do everything important to slow the spread of this virus while we work on getting those vaccines out for all Americans. Now to the good news. It is very encouraging that we've heard an update from Pfizer that their phase 3 clinical study of the vaccine shows really remarkable effectiveness, of over 95% effective. What's really important about their data that they're talking about today is that they show this effectiveness works even in older people and even in racial groups that they've broken out to look at the effectiveness in different ethnic backgrounds and racial backgrounds. And they also show that it's the cases where they did see infections or cases of the coronavirus, most of those severe cases were seen in people who did not receive the vaccine, that received the placebo. So very encouraging news from Pfizer that they have completed their data analysis. Now, remember, we haven't yet seen the data. We've seen their press release, but they are planning to submit that information to the FDA expeditiously so the FDA and scientists can review that data critically to give the FDA a recommendation on whether or not to proceed with authorization of the vaccine.
So for everyone trying to keep these numbers straight, you'll remember last week Pfizer came out and said its vaccine was 90% effective. This is an update now that they've completed phase 3 up to 95% effective. And you also had Moderna last week with its vaccine at 94.5% effective. So Dr. Bright, what does the pace look like here now? So they say within a matter of days this will be submitted for approval to the FDA. What could that mean in terms of how soon this might be available?
Well, we still have a lot of work ahead of us. So the FDA will have to review the data. They'll host a external advisory board of scientists and clinicians with expertise reviewing the safety and efficacy data. And that will happen, I'm sure, pretty quickly, because I know the FDA already set dates aside to be able to review data when it became available. So once that is approved or authorized by the FDA, the CDC will also review that, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, so they can look at the vaccine and see how it is working in different age groups or populations to be able to weigh in on the recommendations on who should get the vaccine. And then it's really important because the hard stuff starts. So this is where we remember that the vaccine doesn't save your life, but vaccination does. And remember that vaccines don't deliver themselves. We need to make sure that we have a complete vaccine campaign rollout. There are very limited doses of this vaccine available right now, so probably 25 million doses or so available. It takes 2 doses per person to achieve that sufficient immunity and protection from the virus. So we don't have much vaccine to go around. And so we're going to have to make some very difficult decisions on who gets the vaccine first, how to identify those individuals, how those individuals know that they're one of those priority groups. And then we have to make sure we distribute that vaccine to the healthcare providers who will deliver the vaccine. This is a vaccine that must be kept at extremely cold temperatures. So there is not a lot of that freezer space or that freezer technology even available across the United States, especially when you think about an equitable distribution of the vaccine. We might have several of those special freezers in some large communities or large cities such as New York, but when you move out into rural communities or areas that are traditionally hard to reach with vaccine, they don't have that specialized equipment. And President-elect Biden has made it a promise and a commitment that when we roll out the vaccine and the therapeutics, it will be done in an equitable manner to make sure we're reaching those people who are hard to reach. And so we need to make sure that the vaccine does get to the right people. I want to emphasize that this is why it is absolutely critical that the transition team is able to sit down with the current administration today to be able to discuss the protocols of the trials, be able to discuss the technical aspects of the vaccine and the rollout and the distribution campaigns. We have been held at an arm's pace. We have no insight to the plans from this current administration. We do not even have direct access to the data. So the GSA delay of the ascertainment of this election is causing significant delays with this critical time point in the data and the vaccine availability.
Okay.
Dr. Bright, just really quickly, and if they don't cooperate with information, will that then, I mean, is it black and white? Will that then delay equitable distribution of the vaccine?
It very likely can. It's not something that is trivial. We need to sit down immediately. As you imagine, we have limited doses now. More doses will become available over the next month or two, and the large part of the campaign rollout will happen after January 20th. And so we need to make sure that we sit down now so there's a smooth process. There's no hiccups. No American is left out in the cold without an ability to get the vaccine when it becomes available because we weren't aware of the plans or didn't have an opportunity to make sure it was a smooth transition.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.